Greetings, Otaku Faithful. Thank you for joining me again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, and I'm here to bring you yet again another movie review segment right here on Otaku Assemble! Weekly, as always, here to bring you the latest reviews for this week's movies. And what a movie review I have to do this week, because last night I attended the midnight release for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And I must say, it was a hell of a conclusion. So let's get on in the review. Once again, I will go ahead and I'll break this review up into two parts. The first half of this review will be non-spoiler. The second half will be spoiler-free. Spoiler-filled, excuse me. So, for those of you who want to check out this review before you go and see the movie, first half. For those of you who have already seen the movie, or those of you who don't care about spoilers, stay tuned for the second half. So, let's go ahead and let's get into the review. Now, this film picks up where the last one left off, because this is the first of the Potter films that they've actually broken up into two parts. So, in part one, we left off after Dobby rescued Harry and company from, I believe that was, actually, I believe that was Malfoy Manor. Like, I believe that was Draco and his, Draco's family home. And what happens is Dobby pretty much risked his life to get Harry, Hermione, and Ron out of there. And so, you know, at the end, they bury him and whatnot. And then the last scene of part one is Voldemort discovering Dumbledore's grave and getting the Elder Wand. So, part two picks up right where that leaves off. And pretty much what part two is pretty much the final battle. I can't stress that enough. And I'm not just talking about between Harry and Voldemort. I'm talking about between the forces of good and the forces of evil. Part two is pretty much the last hour of Return of the King. Okay, it's a full out war, and I have to say that I'm still a little overwhelmed from it, even a day later, you know, because I really wanted to do this review last night when I got back, but I needed to sleep on it so that it wouldn't get, so that the review wouldn't be so incoherent, because I was so pumped up last night. But that's pretty much the gist, as far as a brief summary of what occurs in the film without giving away any spoilers, is that it's the final war. It's the final war, the final battle taking place in what better place than Hogwarts, where it all began. And the film, there are many things that we see happen in the film, and a few issues that do get tackled. For one, as far as what's going on with Harry, of course we get the final resolution between Harry and Voldemort, of course. But there are other things that take place in the film, like Harry's final reconciliation with his parents, and Sirius, and all those that he knew that had passed away. He finally gets like a final reconciliation with them. He gets a final reconciliation with Dumbledore. Let's see. I guess the relationships are confirmed, or rather reassured in this film, I guess you can say, and by which I'm speaking about Ron and Hermione and Harry and Ginny. Both those relationships get reassured in this film. And the Voldemort and Snape, their little that comes to blows also. And I'm trying to think what else I can really say about the plot without giving away any spoilers. We do see the Deathly Hallows in this one. I mean, that gets resolved. Because we found out what the Deathly Hallows were in part 1, and then we finally get that resolution in part 2. But other than that, I don't know what else I can say without giving anything away. So I'll go, as far as the plot, I'll go ahead and I'll leave that off because I don't want to give anything away for you all who want to check this out before you see the movie. Now I'm going to go ahead and let's move into the acting. Once again, the acting was spot on in this film. I mean, hell, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get back into this whole epiphany, about like, man, this whole franchise, 10 years, the acting in this film is what we would expect following these characters and following these actors and actresses throughout these past 10 years. I mean, just as the actors and actresses themselves have grown, so has their acting, so has these characters, and it just all comes out within this final film. And I mean, it was really good. I will tell you though, who I thought, I'll be honest with you. Throughout the Harry Potter films, especially the 4, 5, and 6. Well, no, 4 and 5. Well, no, not even 4 and 5. 4. No, I'll go ahead and say 4 and 5. I thought that the breakthrough performances were, Ralph Fiennes as Voldemort. When Voldemort came back, man, Ralph Fiennes, hell of an actor, and he really did a damn good job, a really good job as Voldemort, and of course, like, especially in Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince, Michael Gambon. I hope I pronounced that right, but Dumbledore, great fucking performances, and it's those two characters and those two actors that I felt always had like the breakthrough performances. But I will say for part 2, the breakthrough performance has got to be Alan Rickman. Snape had the breakthrough performance in this film. Man, because of what happens, man. Alan Rickman. I've always liked Alan Rickman. I always thought he was a great actor, but he really did step his game up for this one, and it was good. Enough, but other than that, I guess fucking Daniel Radcliffe. I mean, this was his film. This was his swan song, his curtain call, his the big conclusion, and he stepped his game up too, and I'll applaud him for that. Other than that, surprise performances, I will say. Maggie Smith as Professor McGonagall. I really did enjoy her in this film because I really did enjoy her in this film, and I won't give away too much because, like I said, I don't want to give away any spoilers. I'll tell you why though in the spoiler half of this review. Now, as far as, of course, the writing and the dialogue on point, always expected. The cinematography, the special effects. Oh my God, the special effects were fucking phenomenal in this. Like, I won't say that they were like, they just completely blew me away. Of course not. But they were exactly what I would have expected from these films for the grand finale. The scenes with, the dragon. The scene when they put up the fucking force field around Hogwarts, and then there was the attack on the force field. That whole scene was beautifully done. And it's like I said, this is what I expect from this cast, this crew. David Yates, dude. I mean, he's just done a stand-up job with these films. And it's like I said, okay, so the cinematography, it didn't blow me away, but it's exactly what I expected. Especially the scene with the resurrection stone. Yeah, that scene was beautifully well done. I mean, it was right on par with part one with the Horcrux scene, you know. The CGI used in that scene, very well done. Okay, so music. God, the scores in this fucking film, and there were a few, I shit you not, damn near had me tearing up. The music in this film, once again, always well done. This film was no exception to that. So with that said, I'll go ahead and I'll give my rating, and then I'll jump into the spoiler half of this review. 5 out of 5 stars. This was a great film. Oh, excuse me. This was a great film, and it was a hell of a journey. You know, it's like I said, man. 10 years. 10 years that you know this film franchise has been going on, and it's been a journey, I will say. But like I said, 5 out of 5 stars. I highly recommend it. Is it the best Potter of them all? Because I think that's the question. I think that's the big question. Larry, is it the best Potter of them all? I'll put it like this. It is a damn good movie, but I still think that part 1 is the best Potter because of all of the eternal conflict and everything that the characters experience in part 1. It's I'm sorry, I still think part 1 is the best of the franchise. But with that said, if you take, I mean, because part 1 and part 2, this is still the same fucking book, okay? If you were to take those two and join them into, you know, one big movie, then yes, hands down, it would be the best film of the franchise. Hands fucking down. So, with that said, guys, if you haven't checked it out, by all means, check it out. I highly recommend it. Great fucking film. And with that said, now is the spoiler-filled half of the video. So if you guys don't want any spoilers, jump out now. For you guys who have either read the books, you don't care about the spoilers, or you've already seen the film and you want to go ahead and finish watching this vid, hang tight because we're about to jump into spoiler territory. Now with the spoiler half, what I want to do is I want to talk about my likes and my dislikes about the film. Now, my likes, okay? There are a lot of things about this film that I particularly liked. Number 1, the throwbacks, okay? Now, I haven't read any of the books, but my friend Ben, shout out to my man Ben, I went with my friend Ben and John last night, and Ben, I asked him, I said, man, you know, I don't know if this was in the books, but man, all the throwbacks that are in this film, and he's like, nah, man, they are in the books. But when I say the throwbacks, I'm talking about things that we saw in this film that brought the whole franchise full circle. I'm talking about in this film, we saw first time in the film that we went back to Green Gaunts, you know, the Goblin Bank. First time since the first film that we went back. First time since the first film that we saw Ollivander, the wand maker. Same thing. First time since the first film. We went back to the Chamber of Secrets in this film. You know, throwback to the second film. We went back to Hogsmeade. First time since I believe that's the name of it, right? Hogsmeade, the little winter getaway. Now, granted, they did, you know, that was in the 6th film, Half-Blood Prince, and I think it was in the 4th one as well. But the fact that, they threw that back in there, it was great to see. The brooms. The brooms. We finally saw, Harry riding on the broom. It's been what? I don't think we've seen him on a broom since Order of the Phoenix, right? Oh no, Half-Blood Prince. They did have Quidditch in Half-Blood Prince. But it's been a while. It has been a while. What else did we see? Of course, the Room of Inquirement was back. I'm trying to think what other throwbacks were there. Because the whole thing about the throwback is supposed to be the earlier films, and I keep catching shit that was in 4, 5, and 6. I'm talking about the shit that was in the first 3 films. Man, they had a lot of throwbacks, and I really did enjoy them. Now, okay, so that was the first thing I liked. Second thing I liked that I had to point out, and my friends Ben and John, they didn't pick up on this, but I did, were the Star Wars parallels. Okay? And when I say the Star Wars parallels, I'm talking about the scenes that reminded me of Star Wars. Number one, when they're in Gringotts, when they were trapped by the dragon, and you have Harry and Ron on one side of this corridor, and you have Hermione in the other. They're in this tight little hall, right? They're in this tight little hall. There's a hall running through it, and the dragon's at the end of that hall, right? Now, they're hiding away from the dragon fire and from the goblins and the wizards who are, trying to capture them. And, there's spells flying over their heads and rubble and shit like that. I'm sorry, but if you did not think that, if you didn't draw a parallel to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, the scene when Hans, Luke, and Layla are in the ship, and they're running from the stormtroopers, and the stormtroopers are firing at them, and fucking lasers are bouncing off their heads. And what happens? Okay, Leia says, "Well, someone has to get us out of this predicament." She grabs the gun, she runs through the hall, starts shooting. Right? Who comes up with a brilliant idea in this film to jump on the dragon to escape? Hermione. I'm sorry, if you didn't see that parallel, then you just missed out on it. But when I saw that scene, that was the first thing I thought of. It was like, oh shit, it's the New Hope. Same thing with when they showed Hogwarts, and they showed the students marching together, solid black, precision walking, precision marching. Did that not look like the Empire? I'm just saying, did that not look like the stormtroopers in the Empire? So, those little things I really did enjoy. And then, of course, there's the whole, you can draw parallels to the Harry Potter story follows the hero's journey, just like Star Wars and, the Matrix and that type of thing. Yeah, you can go ahead and you can draw parallels to that too. Because so many stories, follow the monomyth, Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey. That's an archetype for so many literary tales. But yeah, those were some things I liked. Also, I gotta say, this was probably my favorite scene in this whole film. It's the scene when I'm bringing it back to Maggie Smith and Professor McGonagall. When Professor McGonagall uses the spell to awaken the stone soldiers, and she gives that little speech. She was like, Guardians, Hogwarts is in danger. Do your duty and defend our school. And they start marching with her, like she's in the middle, and they just start marching, and you hear the music, dude, the fucking drums, doom, 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 and they just marching out, and dude, I shit you not, I got goosebumps. When that scene happened, I got fucking goosebumps, dude, because that was so fucking cool. And what does McGonagall say? She turns around, she says, I've been waiting to use that spell forever. It's like, yeah, babe, because it was going down, son. It was going down. And like I said, another favorite scene, when they cast the the barrier around Hogwarts, that was so fucking cool. Like, because they showed each of the professors, you know, casting the spell, and it's like they're you know, it's so symbolic because it's like our united. The idea is this is a united front, and you know, it's like our powers combined is the strongest protection that Hogwarts can have. You see what I'm saying? That really does. That's such a powerful message, and it's such a powerful theme. You know, the only way I could have seen them strengthening that idea is if the students themselves, like if all the students in Hogwarts helped build the giant fucking barrier, I'd have been like, oh my god, like that. Oh, that's so fucking cool. Okay, and let's see. Now, okay, so dislikes about the film. The only thing that I disliked about the film, because I really did, like I said, I really did enjoy this film a lot. There isn't much that I did not like about it. The only thing I could possibly think about that I didn't like about the film was, I guess, the Harry and Voldemort fight at the end. And I think that was more. I think that was more because I expected their final confrontation to have a lot more dialogue and a lot less action. Like, I expected it to be like a really swift battle. You know, something along the lines of, oh, I love this song. But to use an example of what I'm talking about. Perfect example. I was just watching this earlier. Kill Bill, Volume 2, right? The final confrontation between Beatrice and Bill is this long-ass discussion. And as far as the action, it was very brief. If you would have blinked, you would have missed it. You see what I'm saying? I kind of expected the same thing out of that. I don't know why. Like I said, I didn't read the books. And I don't know if it's like that in the books. But it seems like the final battle between Voldemort and Harry, it seems like... I don't know, that action, I didn't really expect that. I expected a lot more dialogue between the two. Particularly, well, then again, now that I think about it, I'm not sure how much dialogue they would have had anyway. Yeah, but that was just what I expected. I don't know, I just thought they would have had, like, you know, more dialogue. But that's the only thing I could think of that, and that's nitpicking. That's not even, that's not anything bad about the film. That's just a little nitpick. Okay, no. Okay, no. If I'm going to go ahead and nitpick, Helena Bonham Carter could have been in the film more. That's all I'm going to say. Because, you know, we had her at the beginning when Hermione used the Polyjuice potion to be Helena Bonham Carter. Oh, God, that woman is so hot. Oh, Tim Burton, you lucky bastard. Okay, anyway. But, yeah, I think that's the only thing I can really complain about. Is like, Helena Bonham Carter could have been in there more. Okay, so let's see. But other than that, I mean, it's like I said, the story was well written. You know, the dialogue was on point. It had me guessing too. You know, it's like I said, I didn't read these books even until the end. I was still guessing, still trying to figure shit out. Which is, I love that shit. You know, that's the mark of good writing. You know, because you know, even after the movie was over, I was asking my friend Ben about it. It's like, you know, hey, was this in the book? It was like, hey, how does the resurrection stone work? And oh yeah, the thing with the elder wand, you know, that even then, you know, still asking questions. So let me see, how long? Oh shit, I'm almost at 25 minutes. So yeah, so with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap up this review. Once again, my rating, 5 out of 5 stars. This is a damn good movie, and yeah, you know, it was a hell of a conclusion to a hell of a ride. You know, I do have to spend some time on this though, because what happened was when the film was over, my friend Ben, he shouted out in the theater. He was like, "It's finally over! After 10 years, it's finally over!" And that's when it hit me. It was like, fuck. 10 years. It's like, damn, I remember going to see, I've seen all of the Harry Potters in theaters. You know, perfect, 8 for 8. And I still remember seeing the first one like it was yesterday. And it's crazy, you know, because I had the same thing happen to me when the Smallville finale happened. You know, it's like 10 years. Fuck. Like it really does make you feel old. It makes me feel old. It's like 10 fucking years. I still remember this shit. I still remember seeing Smallville, you know, the night it premiered, and then, you know, watching the finale afterwards. Just same thing. I went and saw Harry Potter opening day, 7th grade year, 12 years old, 7th grade field trip. And I especially remember that because fucked up thing about it was, okay, I went on the field trip to go see Harry Potter, right? I had to come back and serve detention afterwards. But yeah, man, it was 10 years, man. 10 years, 8 films, man. That, you know, that's, you know, a huge chunk of my adolescence, you know, just came to a close, man. Oh, man. So yeah, so not to take up too much time with this trip down memory lane, that's gonna go ahead and do it for this for me for this week's review. Thanks for joining me again this week. Like I said, what else is coming down the line this week? I got the anime favorites of the month segment kicks off tomorrow with I don't even know if it's so much a review as it is just a video of, you know, my anime favorites. And I'm kicking it off with my all-time favorite anime. The greatest of all time. Ain't nothing better. Dragon Ball Z. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's going down. It's going down. Alright. And then Sunday is going to be the official Naruto rant. Why did I drop Naruto? You guys have heard me bitch, moan, whine, and complain about it here and there for the last couple of months, but I finally went ahead and I officially dropped it. I haven't read a chapter in what? Damn near 2 months? So why did I drop it? Why? Larry, why? Stay tuned for the rant and you'll find out. But with that said, this is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief. I'm signing off and I'll catch you cats later. Peace.